Hello everyone, my name is John Bussart. I'm an HPE Business Transformation Center engineer for Ingram Micro. I help support HPE servers, blade system storage, as well as Aruba networking technology solutions. In my videos, what I like to do is show you a slide from a popular PowerPoint and then demonstrate to you what that means within a management context. Today we're going to continue on our discussion with the HPE's GreenLake solutions, including the Data Services Cloud Console. More specifically, we're going to be looking at block storage. Now, in our last video, we ended that with intent-based provisioning. Now, in reality, intent-based provisioning is a part of block storage. So with data ops management, really you're going to be managing for more of an array level or from a host perspective. When we look at block storage, you're managing more at a volume level or presenting volumes to hosts within the environment. But still, all the other value adds you see with the Data Services Cloud Console are attached. So some things like simplified deployment, invisible upgrades that happen within the cloud, as well as a manage from anywhere perspective, just as you expect from any cloud-like platform. So with all that being said, let's explore this management context. Okay, we're up here in GreenLake. Now, I know a lot of people think of GreenLake, or what I'll call GreenLake Central, as the cost metrics around hybrid IT or on-prem hardware. So paying for what you utilize on site on a monthly basis. So pay for how many terabytes you use on a monthly basis. That can be found within GreenLake Central, the management and capacity planning around that. Right? It certainly does other things, but I would say that would be at the core of what a lot of people think is GreenLake. But that's one perspective of managing hybrid IT with a cloud-like perspective. There's also the day-to-day type of management. So Aruba Central, that'd be managing HP Aruba networking equipment from within the cloud. Compute Ops Management, we'll be managing HP ProLiant servers from within the cloud, so firmware updates and stuff like that. InfoSight is certain your AI analytics from within the cloud. And then today we're going to be digging into the storage management within the cloud, or the Data Services Cloud Console. So let me launch that. All right, so here are the tiles wrapped around the Data Services Cloud Console. Again, we explored the data ops management, and if I launch that real quick just to get our heads wrapped around things again. So again, this will be dealing from a systems perspective. So the management of systems, if I go in here and maybe we'll take our Electra system, and I can go under networking. You can see I can make edits on DNS and things like that. So we're managing more at an array level, right? Or we could look at managing the host as well. So I can add hosts into this environment and go through this process. So when we deal with block storage, and again, I could get to there through clicking here, or I could go back to the main Data Services Cloud Console and clicking here. We're really dealing with creation and management of the volumes and presenting to those within our hosts and our environment. Right now we're at a dashboard. Right, we can see our volumes, we can see how many hosts that we have, see any issues. Right, if I scroll down, we can see capacity based on tiers of storage in our environment. So I have 3 different tiers I'm managing here. I have an Electra 6000 tier, a Nimble all-flash storage tier, as well as a Primera all-flash storage tier. So I can manage all those solutions from up here within the cloud. Right, if I go down a little bit further, we can see more on capacity, the utilization. All this is hyperlinked as well. So if I want to click on something, I can go over to that context. So now we're underneath storage, and we're looking at this volume in particular, right? Issues, capacity, performance, protection, who has access, right? So let's go back to the dashboard so I can get that type of view in this environment. I can also see applications environment. If I click on one of these hyperlinks, it'll just show me the volumes that are attached to those type of applications. If I go down even further, we can see performance metrics, so read latency, write latency, IOPS, as well as throughput. Right, so there are some other items that we could select in here. There's certainly data access. Right, so we can see hosts inside this environment. So there's no add here, so you would do that under Data Ops Manager. Certainly. Right. We can get Data Ops Manager over here. There is also storage, and this is where we're going to spend the bulk of our time today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you provisioning of storage from within the cloud, and I'm going to compare that with our Electra 6000 array. So if you've done Nimble storage or the Electra 6000 base arrays, this would be a common management interface. You'd be probably most familiar with the local management context. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to manage in the cloud and show you how that appears on the local management interface. So you can do either or within your environment. You can manage locally and see that represented in the cloud. You can manage in the cloud and see that represented locally. So that's why I want to look back and forth between these so you get an understanding of where this context will bring you in this environment. All right, so let's go back under our storage volumes. I'm going to click the plus sign to create volumes. Now, if you notice, this create volumes, this is intent-based provisioning. All right, so I'm going to cancel this real quick. All right, so that would be the same as if I selected intent-based provisioning over here. Or I could go to the Data Services Cloud Console, scroll down here, and select intent-based provisioning. So again, we could see that context, this create volume context comes up. All right, again, I could do that. Again, we're under the block storage, we're under storage. All right, I can select the plus sign. So let's go through, let's create some storage. First, I'm going to select the type of tier that I want. We're going to do an Electra 6000. Next, I want to select the workload that I want. We're going to do file server. So real quick, what are these workloads? If I go in the local array and I go select performance policies, right? This will be the same list that you'd see. All right, let's go down a little bit further. We're going to give the name of our volumes, and why don't we call this block storage demo. We'll make 2 of these volumes. I don't know, we'll do about half a terabyte each maybe. Now I got to select it to a host group. So remember, a host group can be a few hosts. It can be single hosts as well. You'll always present to a host group. And I think I'm going to present to, let's see, why don't we do this server here. All right, and next we're going to select the protection policy. So I'd highly recommend selecting a protection policy as a part of your volume creation. This would be a snapshot schedule. It'll be a very basic one. You could certainly change it. What I'm going to do, because I want to show you how this looks in a local management interface as well as a cloud management interface, I'm going to kind of build this up a little bit. So I'm going to select no protection right now. Right. I'm going to click continue. It's going to look at all my arrays and make a decision based on connectivity, storage available, as well as performance characteristics. And it's going to make a suggestion of an array to present this, to create this volume on. Right. And we can see this is the array. It's selected my Electra array. If I didn't like what I see, I could click over here and it would show me all my arrays and I could select whatever I wanted. But we're going to go back to recommendations. We're going to leave it as the Electra array. I'm going to click continue. All right, it's going to ask me for my location. This will really be your group within a Nimble array. So if I go under Manage, I'll go to Data Storage. Right, this will be my group. There we go. So this will be, you can see our group over here. Next, we'll click Continue again. This will be the summary. What's going to happen? So you want to look over this before you commit to this, just to make sure it's everything that you want, and then we're going to click Submit. Get a notification that we're creating our volume set. It's been initialized. Right. And we could certainly go over here. We can search. Now this will be search. This will search our list of volumes for volumes with certain names. So for example, I'm going to search block, and we'll see the 2 volumes that we just created. So block storage demo 0 and block storage demo 1. All right. We could also look within the local management interface, and we'll refresh our context here. We'll see block storage demo 0, block storage demo 1. Now I'm going to dig into one of these. We'll do 0. Obviously, there's not a lot going on here, but what I want to look at down here is the volume collection. So you can see it's not protected right now. So we're gonna mess with that. We're gonna make some changes to it, so you can see how that gets utilized. But both of these don't exist within any collection today. Let's go back up here. So what you want to do is put these into a set. But before I do that, let's take a look. Let's go into block storage demo 0, and let's take a look at the type of information that I get. So any issues, capacity, obviously this is a new volume, so that's showing up there. Same thing with performance, but I can see latency, IFs, and throughput. Right? Any protection, so any snapshots that exist, as well as who has access to this volume. Right? So I'm going to go over to Actions, and I'm going to add to a volume set. Now I can add to a new volume set or I can add to an existing volume set. Let's select add to an existing volume set. Now let's look at the choices that I have. So pay attention to those. Those are volume collections found within a Nimble array. So I'm going to go over to data protection, and then we're under volume collections. So a volume collection is a collection of volumes with a certain snapshotting schedule associated with them. So that's what we're going to do, is we're going to create a volume collection. But this is going to be interesting as to how it creates it from this perspective. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to add to an existing. I'm going to create a new one, and we'll call this block storage volume set. And then I'm going to click submit. All right, so this has been initialized. So let's go back and look at storage. So you can have volumes as well as volume sets. So volume sets are grouping the volumes that you can manage as an entity. Right? For example, a snapshot schedule. Right? If I search now for my block storage volumes, you'll see that block storage hasn't been added. Block storage demo 1 hasn't been added to a volume set, so it exists at a volume in this environment. Right? And 0 is not here. That's because it's a part of block storage volume set. And actually, if I select that, you'll see that volume down here. All right. Now I could add the other volume to this set if I wanted to by going over here and edit the volume set, or I could click over here and add, create new volumes, add to existing volume sets. Right. But what I'm going to do, I find it easier just to go back to storage. Again, we'll search for our volumes. We'll do block. I'll select this guy, and then you can see we can have add to volume set. Again, we could add to new volume set. We could add to existing. We'll select the one we just created, and we'll click submit. All right, now this volume has been added, so I'm going to get rid of this breadcrumb. We'll go back and search for our volumes. You can see that they're both a part of this block storage volume set, so I'll select that. You can see both our volumes exist over here. So we can manage from this perspective. So let's go back and look at the local management interface of this array. We can see our tables need to be refreshed. And if we scroll down, we'll see this block storage volume set exists. Right. If we go to data storage, right, we'll select block storage demo 0. We'll scroll down over here, and we can see it exists as a part of that volume collection. Right. For good measure, we'll look at the #1 version of that volume, and we'll see that also exists. So let's go back to data protection, and let's look at this collection real quick. I'm going to go down, open this up. So if you've done volume collections within Nimble, you'll realize that this looks pretty blank. Right? There's nothing going on here. So let's go back and let's look at another protection schedule that maybe I have in this environment. Maybe this first one up here. And you can see it has a snapshot schedule that's associated with it. And so that's something important to note, is how that looks. We will change our volume set that we created, and we'll make a schedule that's in it. But still, even from this perspective, we could manage, this entity or both of these volumes from the set level. So for example, let's go look under data storage. Let's create a snapshot. So we're in here under this block storage volume set. We're going to go under actions. I'm going to click take a snapshot, and we'll just type snap 1, and then I'll click submit. And you can see the take volume snapshot action has been initialized. Right, so now, if we look under protection, you'll see that snapshot exists. Right, and actually, that snapshot exists across both volumes. So if I select the, here's block storage demo 1, we'll open that up. Then we'll look under protection. We can see that snapshot exists. Right, we'll go back to the set. Right, and we'll look at 0 as well. Look under protection. We'll see that snapshot exists. We'll go back up to the set, up to the local management interface. Let's look block storage demo 1. We'll look under data protection. There exists that snapshot. Right, go to this one as well. You can see that snap 1 exists as well, so it exists on both volumes. All right, now I'm not limited to only taking snapshots at a set level. I can do individual volumes. That's why I stayed on this block storage demo 0. So let's go over here, go under actions. We'll take a snapshot and we'll call this snap 2. We'll click submit. Right. So now we should see a snapshot show up here. So we'll go up and look at the local management context. Let's see, we're at 0 right now. So let's back up. Let's go to 0. And we can see both of these snapshots exist over here. So again, I can take snapshots at a set level, or I can take them at an individual volume level. So let's go create a schedule. So you remember under data protection, right, we looked at our block volume set. This looks pretty blank. So let's go change that. All right, so let's go back at our volume set level. All right. And we can see the snaps that exist. Only snap 1 exists because this was done at a set level. But we've got policies that are over here. So let's add a policy. So now we can select protection types. I could do schedule snapshots, or I could choose from a template. Right, I've got a variety of templates that exist. So again, within the local management interface, I look under data protection. You can see templates. This will be that same list. Right. So we're going to actually do a scheduled snapshot. I'm going to click next. I'm going to create a schedule. So we'll do hour. Maybe we won't do it on Saturday and Sunday. I think I'll start at midnight and we'll go to 11 at night. I'll keep 24 of these snapshots around. We'll add another schedule. And this maybe we'll do as a day. Maybe take this at 1 o'clock at night. We won't do it on Saturday and Sunday again, and I'll keep 5 of those around. So now I got 2 schedules. We'll add those in this environment. And we'll click OK. And we can see the correction policy has been initialized. And if we go look at the local Nimble array, go to data protection. We'll go down to our block storage volume set. We'll select that. We can see the schedule now exists. And up here we can see the schedule as well. I could select that. I could see what the schedule looks like. If I want to edit it, maybe I wanted to add another schedule. Maybe we'll just temple to all right, we'll do it on Saturday. That's fine. And then we'll click submit. We'll click OK. And then this will get modified. Right, again, it'll get passed down. So again, if I look over here, we'll see our week schedule shows up over here. It'll also show up here as well. All right, so now if I needed to revert a snapshot for one reason or another, I would do that in this capacity. So I go over to volumes, and maybe we'll do that on this volume down here. First thing I'm going to want to do is check the snapshots that I have. So if we look under performance, under protection, we see snap 1 and snap 0. The first thing I'm going to want to do is set my volume offline. You don't want any accidental writes to kind of happen. And we'll wait to see this turn offline. Okay, we can see our volume is offline. Now we'll just select the snapshot, and then we'll click restore, and then click submit. And then we'll have restored our snapshot. All right, so that's managing volumes against host snapshots and volume sets within the GreenLake Data Services Cloud Console utilizing block storage. I hope you found this video informative, and please stay tuned for more videos.